to the next item on our agenda, item 15, Petition 1248/2007 by Mr. Rafał Gawronski. Is Mr. Gawronski with us? Yes, he is. So the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me the possibility to submit the petition. This is my second petition. The first one was declared inadmissible. The person who submitted this petition with me on the other occasion declared that she will commit a suicide. He will put himself on fire on the 4th of June in front of the Polish Parliament. I am a Polish farmer, and I am the president of the Polish Racehorse Breeders Association, and we are being repressioned by Polish totalitarian authorities. It's a very serious matter because it also concerns the giving back or the recovery of the real estate unlawfully taken over by the communist regime. I've been punished twice. Well, firstly, I do not get any subsidies, although I comply with all the requirements for organic farm and have all the certificates. And the second time, when I was a party in the Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, then I was sent to prison for 4 months, and I feel being repressioned by those and persecuted as all those who are members of our non-governmental organization. By this petition, I'd like to draw your attention to 2 aspects of the situation in Poland when it comes to private property, to the fact that a person can be persecuted many times for the same crime, and the absence of any remedies in our criminal proceedings. And in this case, because I cannot rectify my my crime, because it is requested by law to reconcile with the victim of the crime, but I can't do that under the Polish law, and I've been deprived of all procedural rights and laws in Poland, but I don't like to deal with it. Well, the President, could you please explain the problem or the substance of this very petition? We'd like to help you, but could you please focus on this very case and on what you expect from us? I'd like to get my direct payments. I run an organic farm, and 4 inspections have ended up with positive results in my farm. That's item number 1. And the second item is the infringement of Article 6 of the EU Treaty, and especially paragraphs 1 and 2 by the Polish government. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, in accordance with our procedure, the petitioner has already taken the floor, and now I'd like to invite the representative of the European Commission to present the opinion of the Commission, and then we'll continue with the debate. Representative of the European Commission, Mr. Istvan Varjas.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Gawronski, my name is István Varjas. I work for the European Commission, Directorate General for Agriculture and Rural Development. And indeed, I have read your petition carefully. And first of all, I would like to inform you that the legal framework in which the European Union operates does not foresee the possibility and actions and the competence of the European Commission with regard to criminal investigations, criminal proceedings in the member states, and also we have no competence to ensure the protection of your family or to avoid general allegations of discrimination by the former representatives of totalitarian states still in power in Poland.
Dziękuję bardzo. Proszę.
Thank you. So, the representative of the Commission said that the Commission would not be competent enough to interfere in such a case, but our committee has broader area of competence, and I would like to remind you that when we were talking about unfair distribution of funds, European funds in Poland, in particular cases, our committee then took the possibility to remind local authorities about the responsibilities that are borne on their shoulders, and the local authorities acted as required. So now I give the floor to Mr. Wojciechowski, and I would like you to really discuss or present the meritum of the case, and maybe you could also present your suggestion, what we can do in this particular case. You are a lawyer, so I am sure that you, being familiar with the European law as well, will be able to suggest what we can do to help Mr. Gawronski. The floor is yours, Mr. Wojciechowski. Thank you, President. Thank you for admitting this particular petition and for giving me the floor. I am a member of another committee, so maybe you do not know me. I am a member of the Agriculture Committee, and I dealt with the issue of Mr. Gawronski in Poland because he approached me with his request. I think that the meritum of the case is as follows. Obviously, the issue of direct payments is important, but it can be still resolved by contacts with the European institutions. But I believe that the case of Mr. Gawronski is extremely important and serious. So it's not so much that we require you to intervene in the court case, because obviously courts are independent and it has to be respected as a right. But the problem is as follows. First of all, the double persecution, if I can put it this way. He is a farmer, and first of all, he was charged with the allegation of obtaining payments in an inadequate way, and he was punished twice. First of all, the payments were taken away from him, and this is a very significant amount gathered for a couple of years that he has been deprived of the payments. This was his first charge. And the second charge, he was also charged with basically obtaining the payments and acting with detriment to the European Union, and this is a very important charge. So in the official list of allegations, the European Union is listed as one of the victims of the actions taken by Mr. Gawronski. In the criminal proceedings like that, every person who is suspected of a given crime has a right to meet with the victim and try to rectify the situation. The victim can, for instance, decide that the person who is accused is no longer guilty of the crimes. Maybe the respect of the punishment can be alleviated. So, if in this particular case the European Union is treated as one of the victims, he would like to see a representative of the European Union sitting in the case, in the court in Poland, to speak as a victim. Obviously, the court in Poland did not know how to react, and I'm actually saying this with a certain sad sentiment, because at a certain point in time I was also involved in how the court works worked in Poland, and I know that in this particular case the decision was not right. He was detained for 4 months back in Poland, and I believe that this situation is exceptional. I spoke to many colleagues about that, with colleagues from various member states, and to date no one has heard of a similar case, a case where a farmer, and actually in Poland Mr. Gawronski is not the only case like that, where a farmer is accused of obtaining the payments in an inadequate way, and for this particular reason they are put in prison. So I believe that the European Commission should act in this case. And finally, the case itself, the case of Mr. Gawronski, where I believe, and obviously you, President, will decide, but I'm thinking what the European Commission could do for Mr. Gawronski. At least I believe they could send a letter or approach the Polish government to make sure that these particular proceedings are treated in an exceptional way. In other words, they are supervised by the European Commission. I hope that this protection, if I can put it this way, should help Mr. Gawronski in this particular case. I know that this practice is available, that it has been used before, and I believe that such a signal sent by the European Commission would not interfere with the independence of the Polish court in any way. It would just prove that the European Commission really sees this problem as important and has decided to monitor these proceedings. And finally, the double charge issue. I would like to ask the European Commission, I would like to ask you to maybe send a relevant letter to the Polish government and to the European Commission at the same time to avoid excessive persecution or repressions, because I believe that if certain financial punishment has been imposed, criminal punishment should not be used to avoid this double punishment or double incrimination. I really believe that this double punishment or double criminality issue should be taken care of. And this would be it as regards this particular case. I believe that now it is your decision as the Committee on Petitions whether you would like to approach the Polish government to double check on the adequacy of the decision concerning the direct payments and the withdrawal thereof. But I believe that the most important thing here is the double criminality. And finally, the issue of representation of the European Union. I know that I'm running out of time here, but it's something new in criminal proceedings in Poland, because very often now we have the European Union as one of the victims, if I can put it this way, and how the European Union should be represented in criminal cases like that, in court cases like that. Maybe to get an answer on that, you should maybe speak to the Committee on Legal Affairs. So, two issues. To approach the Polish government to make sure that the court case is being supervised in an adequate manner, and finally a letter to the Polish government and to the European Commission to consider the issue of double criminality. Thank you.
Proszę Państwa, ja myślę, że zrobimy w ten...
Thank you. So maybe we can proceed as follows. Definitely, we can send a letter to the Polish government, not to the court, obviously, but to the Polish government, to the Polish authorities, and you have also suggested to the European Commission on the two issues. First of all, representation of the European Union in court cases like that, and secondly, double criminality. So maybe Mr. Wojciechowski can get in touch with us later on to make sure that the wording of the letters is agreed as soon as possible, and then we can send the letters. So maybe immediately after the meeting, even today or tomorrow, you can approach us, the Secretariat, to make sure that we word the letters appropriately, the letter to the Polish government and to the European Commission. So the petition remains open and the letters will be sent. And for today, this would be it. And we keep in touch with you, Mr. Wojciechowski, and the petitioner. With this, we move to the next point on the agenda.
Dobrze. Proszę Państwa, teraz tak zgodnie z tym, cośmy mówili.
In line with what we have said at the very beginning, we have to come back to one issue. We don't have much time, so we have to speed things up. We come back to point number 10. We have, this is the visit to Gateshead and Newcastle. Madam Foley, I'll give you the floor.